Byo-Gon, a completely biodegradable product manufactured in Kermit, Texas. Byo-Gon is for use in waste collection ponds, dairies, and waste treatment plants. This is a dairy pond in Southern California, covered with 4 to 5 feet of solid manure. The Byo-Gon is injected directly into the washdown system. The cows are washed. The water then drains across the floor, cleaning the floor, then gravity flows to a lift station, and then is pumped into a solids pond. Byo-Gon excites the appetite of the existing bacteria, speeding it up thousands of times faster, causing the bacteria to consume itself and turn the waste into carbon dioxide and water. The water is pumped into the pond through the pipe seen on the right side of the screen. The manure on part of the pond is so thick that it can actually be walked upon. Byo-Gon is a non-corrosive, non-toxic, totally organic material. This is the pond after 7 days. Approximately 45% of the top covering of manure is gone. The bubbling action seen in the pond is an anaerobic reaction. It is bringing the manure from the bottom of the pond to the top. Periodically, during the process, the manure will cover the top, then turn into water and carbon dioxide. The large clumps on the pond are starting to break up and cave in, and they are turning to water and carbon dioxide. The next scene will be after 15 days. Approximately 70% of the pond is clear of the top covering of manure. Again, we are cleaning the bottom and the sides of manure, which will increase percolation of the pond. The water is starting to clear of suspended solids, which will increase evaporation by letting the sunlight deeper into the water. Byo-Gon will remove approximately 75% of the suspended solids. It also removes approximately 75% of the settable solids. This is after 30 days of injecting Byo-Gon. You will have noticed that the spray from the pipe is reaching further into the pond. This is due to the inside of the piping system being totally cleaned of solids. Notice how the blue water is. Less suspended solids and less settable solids. The settable solids and the suspended solids being almost totally gone. The manure at the far end of the pond is now about 2 to 1.5 feet thick. It is falling and caving in very rapidly into the solution and turning itself into water and carbon dioxide. Across from the solids pond is the liquids pond. You will be seeing the liquids pond. The water from the solids flows into the liquids pond and also carries some manure with it. The reddish cast in the partially covered area in this pond is caused by the manure. Again, the anaerobic reaction is taking place. We have already achieved an aerobic reaction, which means we are cleaning the pond from top to bottom and turning the waste into water and carbon dioxide. Around the introduction area, the water is starting to turn blue. Towards the end of the pond, the water is still reddish and quite murky. The partial covering of manure in the liquids pond is starting to disappear, again turning into water and carbon dioxide. The manure from the bottom and sides is being brought to the top and is dissipating also into water and carbon dioxide. This is the same process that takes place in a septic tank, grease trap, or waste treatment plant. However, Byo-Gon speeds the process up many times faster. Byo-Gon is being used in many dairies, large municipal waste treatment plants, and in septic and waste tanks in private homes and in public restaurants. Byo-Gon requires no special handling or protective equipment such as goggles, gloves, or boots. Next, we will have an impromptu interview with the dairy owner. We called him at lunchtime in his kitchen. We asked him some very pertinent questions, and we got some very honest answers.
Well, we started this, what, 30 days ago now?
Yeah.
About 30 days ago. And you had that crust on there.
Yeah, I didn't see any way of getting it out of there. And then you came by with your product and says, well, let's try this trial here. And I said, if you can make shit disappear, then I'll buy it.
What happened?
It just started breaking up. It was just falling in and just returned to liquid. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, it just started disappearing. I mean, because I can't dry the pond down and clean it out. No way. So I had a big problem there. So my alternative was spending a lot of money.
So it was about 4 or 5 feet thick when we started. And
yeah, as far as I can tell from the top, it would just start bunching up. You know, my whole solids pond was just getting fuller and fuller. And that was completely solid. The dog can walk on top, and that other dog will drown if he walks on that. So no, it's just amazing.
are you convinced that the product does work? The PX-109 does what we claimed it would do?
Yeah, to my surprise, because like I said when I started, go ahead, Mickey, go ahead and do this. I thought, it'll never work because there's tons of manure there. And the stuff just falling in like pieces of ice off a glacier, like icebergs.
What did you...
They just fall in there and disappear, and just, I don't know.
The product is a safe product. You haven't seen any kind of problems around the dairy anywhere else, have you?
No, the way you're injecting into my water system is washing the cows, and there's no more mastitis or infections or chapped teats, or there's not that kind of problem.
Good.
As far as the cows go, and it's all washed into the pond. After the cows are washed, there's no problem at all. And another thing I noticed that there's the odor is gone. There used to be a tremendous odor here just in the ponds, and that's just almost non-existent.
Now, I know a lot of the other dairies use 2 ponds, but they fill one, and when it gets filled, then they fill the other one.
And dry the one off,
And dry the other one out.
and then they clean out with the tractor and haul it away.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have facilities for that here. Your product is saving my life, really. I mean, I was going to have a big problem here.
Byo-Gon PX-109, manufactured in Kermit, Texas. We will be seeing the cleaning of a dog pond in Edmond, Oklahoma. The dog pond is owned and used by a kennel of a very famous bird dog trainer, and which houses over 300 dogs. Each day the kennels are washed and scrubbed, and the manure and wastewater drains into the solids pond. The solids pond then gravity flows into a liquids pond. The solids pond is matted on top with manure and dog hair and other debris. The covering of waste is approximately 4 inches thick. The settable solids on the bottom are much thicker. These 2 problems do not allow much percolation or evaporation. This pond also has an extremely rank odor. With the use of Byo-Gon, these 2 problems will disappear. Byo-Gon is being injected into the pond on a daily basis. The Byo-Gon has created an anaerobic reaction and is bringing the dog waste to the top and turning it into water and carbon dioxide. This is accomplished from the Byo-Gon exciting the appetite of the existing bacteria in the waste. This creates a metabolic furnace, which causes the waste to totally consume itself, turning itself into water and carbon dioxide. This is the normal process that happens in a large waste treatment plant or in your septic tank at home. The exception being that with the use of Byo-Gon, it speeds this action up several thousand times faster. Byo-Gon is a completely biodegradable product, non-toxic, non-corrosive, and it requires no special handling or equipment, such as gloves or goggles or boots. Byo-Gon is not harmful to humans, fish, or animals. Byo-Gon creates both an aerobic and an anaerobic reaction in the waste pond, cleaning from top to bottom. This allows a better percolation from the bottom. Also allows a better penetration of sunlight at the top for quicker evaporation. We are getting a good anaerobic reaction in the solids end of the pond. The thick waste covering on top has dissipated about 90%, having been turned into water and carbon dioxide. After 30 days of Byo-Gon, the dog hair and leaves can be raked from the top of the pond. The thick covering of waste on top is now gone, leaving only water. There is a little difference from the solids end to the liquids end of the waste pond. 90% of the settable and suspended solids have been removed. The bad bacteria count has dropped over 95%, creating a healthier and cleaner environment. The odor has now been eliminated. No more complaints from the neighbors.